Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Howe from Longwood University. Joining me today is Dr. Paul Barrett, a colleague of mine who has co-written a paper recently released on higher education and how it impacts culture. I'd like to spend a few minutes with you talking to Paul about the article and its impact. Uh, Paul, let's start out with discussing how this article is significant and why it's important.
That's a great question, lead-off question, Jim. So the experiment that we launched was the first of its type, and it was a randomized study with participants to see if a world-renowned leadership development tool actually worked. The tool is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, based on Stephen Covey's famous book, published in languages all over the world. And that book was ranked by Fortune magazine as one of the top 10 most influential books in history. But we were looking at a couple questions, important questions in this study. One is, does leadership development actually turn out better leaders? And if it does, so what? Does it impact the culture of an organization? If it does, so what? Does the organization achieve its goals faster, better? So that was the purpose of the study, and for that reason, with the results we got, the answers to all the questions were yes. Yes, leadership development works. Two, it significantly changes culture in an organization for the better, and the organization's key goals are met faster and better.
What I liked is the emphasis on the 4 different dimensions that we looked at, and when we measured the results before and after. So that the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects. Let's talk for a minute about the benefits to an organization, whether it be industrial, commercial, educational. What are the main benefits that you see of adopting this Covey 7 Habits training?
So again, we studied an organization in higher education, but basically the benefits that we saw in our study can be achieved by organizations of all types, industry, big corporations, Fortune 500s, medium size, small businesses, government agencies, nonprofits, certainly higher education, and interestingly enough, school systems from kindergarten through high school can benefit from this, from the results of this study. Now, the benefits. Okay, wait, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Paul. Finish that thought.
The specific benefits start in the leadership development because everybody in an organization has to get this process. It starts with what's called self-mastery, and then what that means is that you get to identify your priorities and achieve them with time efficiencies. So it also evolves into higher order skills like group leadership and building trust among team members. That's what the 7 Habits is found to do in organizations. It promotes effectiveness towards the achievement of the organization's goals. That is really the main thrust of any culture change, and the 7 Habits through leadership development achieve that process. So, by the way, in 7 Habits technology, achieving goals is called keep the end in mind. And Jim, you know this at Longwood. What the process includes is, in an organization of any type, when people go into a meeting, many people should be going, what's the end in mind for this meeting? What's the end in mind for this meeting, for this goal, for this project, what are the big metrics that this organization has to achieve? And what are we doing every day to make that happen? That's what occurs in this system.
Well, I sure have seen the cultural change at Longwood over the years that we've done the training, as well as other clients like the Army and TSA, dramatic changes in the culture. You mentioned education. Just speak for a minute about the K through 12 environment and Leader in Me. How does that how would that operate in a system?
Again, same process. Every single person in an organization, so kindergarten, elementary, middle, high school, so forth, every single student, teacher, faculty, and some of the family members get the leadership training, 7 Habits. It's called Leader in Me. Today, it's in about 7,000 schools throughout the U.S. and about 10,000 across the world. When we started at Longwood, there were none in Virginia. There was a few hundred in the USA, none outside. But they're seeing the same thing we saw at Longwood, which is the leadership development seeps into and positively enhances the culture for teamwork, trust, and innovation. Give you a couple little tidbits. Even elementary and middle schools are starting businesses. Innovation comes out of the trust and the teamwork. They build anti-bullying clubs. They're building radio stations. They're actually working with some Fortune 500 companies to the little people, the 5, 6, and 7-year-olds, as well as the high school. So now we're developing an entire culture, not only in an organization, but across the US, that's going to be able to get involved in innovation. It's really exciting.
Wow, what a benefit. And as a parent and grandparent, I can understand how important as a stakeholder interfacing with the faculty and the teachers and aides is important. And this is a great vehicle. How do somebody that's interested in this find out more information? What would be the link or to get more detail of how to proceed with next steps?
I'm going to mention that, Jim, but first I'm going to start with the end in mind. Why would anybody seeing this video want to get more information?
Yeah.
You're going to have hiring needs in the future. You're going to want these leaders that have been developed since age 4, all the way through elementary, middle, high school, college. Longwood was the second university in the world to try this. Now there are dozens and dozens all across the universities, the real well-known ones. So organizations want this information because of their hiring, and they want to, meet their metrics. They can click on a link that should be part of this video. It'll go to the SNBC Institute for Leadership and Innovation's website, and there'll be all the programmatic resources, people, and the 7 habits processes. They'll see that there. And the article that got the international award on this study will be there for them to read what Longwood did. And as a model, they can do it in any organization that they represent with the same positive results.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Paul. We're hoping that whoever views this can go to the next step and then find out more information.
You bet, Jim.
Take care. Good to see you.
You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.